This morning, I sat outside longer than usual, watching mist loosen its grip on the trees. The world was quiet, not the awkward kind, but the kind that listens back. That's when the thought settled in fully. I'm an 80 years old. Silence changes when you've lived this long. It stops being empty. It fills up. Every room becomes crowded with memories, voices that once argued, laughed, whispered promises. Over time, the people attached to those voices drift away. Parents go first, then siblings, friends who once felt permanent, even the person you assumed would age beside you. Eventually, you find yourself standing still while the world keeps sprinting forward. Young people look at me strangely, some with curiosity, some with pity. They ask what it feels like, or they avoid the question altogether. From where I sit, their worries seem so fragile, like sand slipping through fingers clenched too tight. But there's something no one tells you about reaching this age. When so much is stripped away, what remains isn't despair, it's clarity. I used to believe my life was built on what I accumulated, a career I protected, a name I tried to defend, walls, titles, and proof that I mattered. Now I look around and see how temporary all of it was. Homes change owners, achievements fade into footnotes, even reputations dissolve quietly. And strangely, none of that hurts anymore. What lasts isn't what you held, it's how you held it. The patience you practiced, the honesty you chose when it was inconvenient, the way you showed up when no one was watching. People aren't possessions either. We borrow them for a time. Loving them deeply doesn't stop their leaving, but it does transform loss into gratitude. If you're younger, listen carefully. Stop gripping so hard. Life isn't something you secure, it's something you experience while you can. But this realization didn't come easily. It arrived only after I learned where life actually hides, and it's not where we're told to look. When I was younger, I believed life lived in big moments, milestones, celebrations, the kind of days you circle on calendars. I kept waiting for the next peak, convinced fulfillment was always somewhere ahead. But standing here now, I see how misleading that idea was. Life doesn't reside on the mountaintops, it lives in the walk between them. If I could return to those earlier decades, I wouldn't chase more success, I'd chase more awareness. I would sit longer with my coffee instead of rushing through it. I would notice how sunlight moves across the room. I would listen, not just hear, the people I loved. The memories that stay aren't the dramatic ones. They're the quiet, ordinary moments that never asked for attention. Loneliness is another teacher that arrives with age. When the house empties and schedules dissolve, you're left alone with yourself. Many people spend decades avoiding that moment. They drown it out with noise, work, distractions, and crowds. But eventually, the body slows, the running stops. And when it does, you either meet yourself for the first time or you panic. Sitting with myself wasn't easy. I met versions of me I had ignored. The younger man, full of pride, the middle-aged one, full of fear. But something unexpected happened. I learned how to forgive myself. I learned that I didn't need to earn rest anymore, that my worth wasn't tied to usefulness. The greatest strength I found wasn't physical or financial, it was internal. A quiet steadiness, a sense that I could sit alone and still feel whole. Old age isn't frightening if you've built a relationship with yourself. In fact, it becomes peaceful. Still,
Peace doesn't erase regret, and there's one lesson I learned far too late about kindness and the cost of being right. People ask me if I have regrets. Of course I do. Anyone who says otherwise is lying, to themselves most of all. But I've learned the difference between regret and remorse. Regret is wishing you'd tried. Remorse is wishing you'd been kinder. I regret the chances I avoided because fear felt safer. I regret the words of love I swallowed out of pride. But what aches the most are the moments I chose ego over compassion. Arguments I needed to win. Silences I let stretch too long. Grudges I protected like they mattered. Here's the truth. Being right is a hollow victory. When people leave, and they always do, the arguments leave with them. What stays is the weight of how you treated them. Kindness outlives correctness every time. If you have someone you care about, call them. Not to explain, not to defend yourself, just to say, I'm glad you're here. One day, they won't be, and none of the rest will matter. There's a strange grace in stepping out of the center of life, watching younger generations invent new words, new rules, new chaos. At first, it made me feel irrelevant. Then I realized irrelevance is freedom. My role now isn't to lead, it's to witness, to see my father's eyes in my grandson's face, to understand that I was never the whole story, just a chapter. What remains after everything else falls away is gratitude, deep, aching gratitude, for love even when it ended, for loss because it meant something mattered, for every sunrise I was allowed to see. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. I've learned that light doesn't disappear, it simply moves on. Don't wait until life gets quiet to listen. What remains is already with you right now. And if this reflection stayed with you, share it with someone you love before the house grows quiet.